जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवृत्ताचार्य स्तोत्रषद फिर सुनाएंगे श्री श्रीमद चरण अरविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की उपस्थित भक्तवृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदे all those Shamad devotees, all those Shamad devotees, all those devotees, all those Shri Guru and Gaura. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Rottama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Canto 3, Chapter 6. The chapter is entitled Creation of the Universal Form, and we are on text 18 today. Tvacham asya vinirvinnam Vivishurdhishnyam oshadhi Anshena romabhi kandu Ye raso pratipadyate Tvacham asya vinirbhinna Vivishurdhishnyam oshadhi Anshena romabhi kandu Ye raso pratipadyate Tvacham asya vinirbhinna Vivishurdhishnam oshadhi Anshena romabhi kandu Ye raso pratipadyate Vaishnavis. Tvacham, skin. Asya, of the gigantic form. Vinirvhinna, being separately manifested. Vivishu, entered. Dhishnam, the controlling deity. Oshadhi, sensations. Anshena, with parts. Romabhi, through the hairs on the body. Kandum, itching. Yai, by which. Asau, the living entity. Pratipadyate, experiences. Translation. When there was a separate manifestation of skin, the controlling deities of sensations and their different parts entered into it, and thus the living entities feel itching and happiness due to touch. Please repeat after me. When there was a separate manifestation of skin, the controlling deities of sensations and their different parts entered into it, and thus the living entities feel itching and happiness due to touch. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For the sense perception, there are two principal items, touch and itching, and both of them are controlled by the skin and hair on the body. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the controlling deity of touch is the air passing within the body, and the controlling deity of the hairs on the body is Oshadhya. For the skin, the object of perception is touch, and for the hairs on the body, the object of perception is itching. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranavami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnapadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarane. Hare Krishna. So a very warm welcome to all those present over here and also to those listening online. Before we begin, I have some good news for you all. So while I was preparing this class, I was going through the Adi Khand of Chaitanya Bhagavat. And why was I reading Chaitanya Bhagavat for a Bhagavatam class? We'll get to know that. But during my reading, I found that in the invocation of one of the chapters, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has talked about you all. He writes something like this. Jaya Shri Govinda Dwarapala Keranath Jiva Prati Kara Prabhu Shubha Drishti Path Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Putra Vipraraj Jaya Hau Torayata Shri Bhakta Samaj Jaya Jaya Kripa Sindhu Kamala Lochana Hena Kripa Kara Tora Yashe Rahu Mana. What does he write? Jaya Sri Govinda Dwara Palakiranath. All glories to that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the master of Govinda, the doorkeeper. Govinda was the servant of Lord Chaitanya, right? So all glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the master of Govinda. And then Jaya Jaya Jagannath Putra Vipraraj. All glories to him, who is Vipraraj, the topmost amongst Brahmanas, and who is also Jagannath Putra, the son of Jagannath Mishra. Who is being talked about here? Again, Lord Chaitanya. And in the next line, then he writes, Jaya Hau Torayata Shri Bhakta Samaj. All glories to you all, who are the devotees of that same Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, yes, many congratulations. You people are not ordinary. You have been mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And because you people are not ordinary, I seek blessings from each one of you that I may be able to speak something valuable for your divine pleasure and for my own purification. There are so many seniors sitting here. I'm super nervous. So yes, please bless me. So in this chapter, the material form of the Lord has been talked about. Does the Lord have a material form? Yes, it is called Vishwarup, right? And this is a very interesting verse. As soon as I read this verse, some 4 or 5 sections on different scriptures came to my mind, and a few verses as well. So I thought, let's just discuss those. So in this verse, 2 things have been talked about. One is the itching sensation, and the second is happiness due to touch. So itching. Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayers in the 9th chapter of 7th canto, he mentions, Yanme Dhunadigriyame Disukham Vitucham Gandu Yanena Karayoriva Dukha Dukham. So in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj compares the most celebrated pleasure of this material world, the sex pleasure, to itching, right? And this is something with which we all are struggling, with sex desire, with lust, right? I'm not saying this, Bhagavatam says this. Tat srishta srishta srishteshu kona khandita dhipuman risham narayanam rite yoshin mayye hamayaya. Amongst all living entities, including the demigods, the human beings and the animals, none but the sage Narayan is immune to the attraction of Maya in the form of opposite sex. So, yes, so first thing that we can do to deal with this is acknowledge that we are vulnerable to it. If we accept it, that we have this problem, then this is quite an achievement. Once Srila Prabhupada was approached by a disciple, he said, Prabhupada, I want to take sannyas. Prabhupada asked, why? He replied, because I'm too lusty. Prabhupada said, okay, I'll give. Wait, what? Why? How? This was my reaction when I heard this. Prabhupada, he is accepting from his own mouth that he is too lusty, and you are saying, okay, I'll give. But no, 2 reasons. Firstly, at least he knows that he has lust, right? Otherwise, many or most of the people, they think it's natural. They think that it's a part of their existence. They don't even see it as a problem, right? And second, he had a great desire to conquer lust, to overcome it, right? So that's why Prabhupada agreed. On another occasion, another disciple approached Srila Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I'm free from lust. Prabhupada said, go to a doctor. No. Why? Because only 2 kinds of people can be free from lust. One, if someone is a pure devotee, and second, if someone is not normal. So what Prabhupada probably meant was, you are definitely not a pure devotee. So please go and see a doctor. So like that. So this is first thing. And second thing that we can do is tolerate it. That's what Prahlad Maharaj recommends. Kandu tivat manasidam vishahet adhira. A dheer person, an intelligent person should vishahet, tolerate it. Why? Because if there's an itching in a certain body part, and if we end up scratching over there, what will happen? Firstly, the itching will increase, and secondly, soon eventually that itching will transform into a wound. Slowly, blood will start oozing out from the skin, right? So better to tolerate it, right? That's why Prahlad Maharaj recommends that. And thirdly, we can engage in devotional service. Why? Because where there is Rama, there is no Kama. Sachinandan Maharaj said this. And in this regard, Rup Goswami quotes a beautiful verse in Padyavali. Kashaya nacha bhojanadi niyaman no vavane vasato vyakhyanadata muni vrata bharat chittodbhara shiyate kintu sita kalinda shailatanaya tireshu vikridito govindasya badaravinda bhajana rambhasya leshadapi. What is being said here? Kashayan, not by accepting the robes of a renunciant. Na cha bhojanadi niyaman, not by giving sense activities like eating, etc. No vavane vasato, not by residing in a forest. Vyakhyanad, not by participating in philosophical discussions. Vyakhyanad athva vrata muni bharaj, not by accepting the vow of silence, not by accepting mauna vrat, not by all these things, but only by even the slightest beginning of devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. Govindasya padaravinda bhajana. Only by devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Govinda is Kamadev, lust, stopped. Right? So this is the third thing. And fourth that we can do is, we can have the darshan of the eyebrows of the Lord. That's what third canto recommends. Hasam hare ravanata khilaloka tivra shokashu sagar vishoshanamatyudaram sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya bhrumandalam munikrite makaradhvajasya. So two things. Hasam harer, Lord Hari's hasam, his smile, and bhrumandalam, his eyebrows. These two are very special. So if we have their darshan, okay, let me read the exact translation. A yogi should meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate, so this is one, okay, if we meditate on Krishna's smile, on Radha Gokulanan's smile, grief from our life will disappear. And second, the yogi should also meditate on the Lord's eyebrows, which charm the sex god for the good of the sages. So Krishna is Madan Mohan, he can charm Madan, right? A similar verse comes in Sri Venkatesh Suprabhatam. Kandarpa darpa har sundar devya murte kanta kuchamburu hukutmal lola drishte kalyana nirmala gunakar devya kirte Sri Venkatachalapate tava suprabhatam. So Sri Venkatachalapati, the Lord of Venkatachal Hill, what he can do? Kandarpa darpa hara. He can take away, hara, take away what? Darpa, the pride. Whose pride? Kandarpa, the pride of the Cupid. So, Maya is powerful, Cupid is powerful, lust is powerful, but fortunately our Krishna is more powerful than all these. Right? So yes, this is the fourth thing. And fifth, last but not least, what we can do is, we can read about the conjugal pastimes of the Lord. Once I was sitting in a Bhagavatam class in one of the temples, and their 9th canto was going on. And the topic for that day was somehow related to lust. So the speaker, he's a very senior devotee. What he did, he chanted the Mangalacharan prayers, and after that he straight away started narrating the pastime of marriage of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Sri Lakshmi Priya. And we are a bit confused. We are like, wait a minute, Prabhuji, this is not related to the verse. I mean, of course we didn't say it, but still he continued. He narrated the entire pastime for around 45 minutes, and in the end he concluded, if we want to get free from lust, then we should read such conjugal pastimes of the Lord. Any questions? And we were mesmerized. And what I did, I went back and read both these chapters. In Adi Khand, chapter 10, it's about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's marriage with Sri Lakshmi Priya, and chapter 15, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's marriage with Sri Vishnu Priya. Both these chapters, I can tell this with full confidence that there cannot be a better description of a marriage ceremony than these two. I mean, so beautiful, so sweet, so wonderful, and of course, so purifying. So yes, yeah, that's mostly about itching. the next thing that has been mentioned in this verse is happiness due to touch. This happiness due to touch has been mentioned in 11th canto in Uddhav Gita. Krishna is telling Uddhava, Sprishan kariva vadhyeta karinya anga sangatah. Kari refers to an elephant and karinya refers to a she-elephant. So how is an elephant caught? A hunter, what he does, he purposefully places a she-elephant at some distance from the elephant, and the elephant, out of this desire to experience the happiness due to touch, what he does, he starts running towards the she-elephant. Hardly does he know that there is a ditch on the pathway, and unfortunately, as a result, the elephant gets caught. So the scriptures give this example that something similar might happen with us also. We also, out of a desire to experience this happiness, might end up being caught in the clutches of Maya. So when I read this, I was thinking that, is there any positive example of this? An example in Bhagavatam where some devotee has utilized his sense of touch in the service of the Lord. And then immediately, example of Amrish Maharaj came to my mind. What's the verse? Mukunda lingalaya darshane drisho tad bhritya gatra sparshe anga sangamam. Right? Amrish Maharaj utilized his sense of touch in touching the body of the devotees. Basically, in serving the devotees. Vaishnava Seva. Right? So it's up to us. We can either use our sense of touch in sense gratification, or we can use it for the service of the devotees. Lord Kapila, in 3rd canto, he says, Prasangam adaram pasham atmanaha kavayo vidu sa eva sadhushu krito mokshadwaram apavritam. Attachment to the material world is the cause of bondage. But when the same attachment is directed towards self-realized souls, it opens the door of liberation. So something similar might be said for the sense of touch as well. Sense of touch, when employed in sense gratification, is a cause of bondage. But when the same sense of touch is employed in the service of the Vaishnavas, in Vaishnava Seva, it opens the door of liberation. Right? And this Vaishnava Seva, this is a process. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us Name Ruchi Vaishnava Seva Jiva Daya. Right? So this is a very important process for us. A very wonderful example of Vaishnava Seva comes in Ante Leela. The example of Kalidas and Jharu Thakur. Kalidas was the uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami, and he was an amazing devotee. What he used to do? He used to prepare a list of all the Vaishnavas, and he used to check mark those names whose Mahaprasad he had taken. So Jharu Thakur, another amazing devotee, his name was in the pending list. Kalidas was yet to take his Mahaprasad, but there was a problem. What problem? Jharu Thakur was from a Shudra family and Kalidas was from a Brahmana family. So how does he ask him for Maha, right? So for this, Kalidas made a plan. What did he do? He purchased some mangoes and took them as a present to the house of Jharu Thakur. When he went there, when he arrived there, somehow Jharu Thakur's wife was also there. So Jharu Thakur asked Kalidas, how can we serve you? So Kalidas told, see, I don't want much. What I want is, you please put some dust from your lotus feet on my head. So Jharu Thakur became uncomfortable. He said, hey, how is that possible? I am a Shudra, you are a Brahmana. This is totally against social customs. So Kalidas started quoting some verses from the Shastras, how a Vaishnava is above Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So he told, you are a Vaishnava, so you are not a Shudra, you are above all this. Still, somehow Jharu Thakur was not convinced. So as a result, after some time, Kalidas had to leave. But did he really leave? No. He was hiding in a nearby place. And after this, what happened? He was hiding, and inside what's going on? Jharu Thakur offered those mangoes to Krishna Chandra, accepted their prasad. After that, his wife honored the prasad, and then wife threw out the remnants in a ditch outside the house. Then Kalidas came into the picture. What did he do? He started accepting remnants from that ditch and honoring them. As a result, what happened? Lord Chaitanya was immensely pleased. So much so that he got a special mercy of the Lord. How? So Lord Chaitanya, what he used to do? He used to go to the Jagannath temple for darshans, and he used to use the Simhadwar. So outside Simhadwar, there was a ditch in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to wash his feet. Govinda used to carry the water pot. But nobody was allowed to take Charnamrit from there. It is stated that even the intimate associates of the Lord, they were not allowed the Charnamrit. But one fine day what happened? This Kalidas, he came in style, and in front of everyone, he did something surprising. What did he do? Eka Anjali, Dui Anjali, Tina Anjali, Pila, Tabe Mahaprabhu Tare Nisheda Karila. In front of everyone, what did he do? He drank one palmful of Charnamrit, then a second palmful of Charnamrit, and then the third one. He was about to drink the fourth one. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, see, I have already fulfilled your desire. Please do not act in this way anymore. So just imagine that mercy, which was unavailable even for the intimate associates of the Lord, became available for Kalidas. Why? Because he had served the Vaishnavas. And not only that, after a few days what happened? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking his lunch at his residence. And from his window he saw, who's standing? Kalidas is standing. So what he did? He honored half of the prasad. The remaining half he told Govinda, please give it to Kalidas. So if we want such mercy of the Lord, then we also have to act in a similar way. We also have to serve the Vaishnavas. Actually, if we see, to be a servant of the Vaishnavas, it's a very high thing. It's a matter of great fortune. Great fortune. And we should aspire for this identity to be a servant of the Vaishnavas. Why? Because the safest place in the entire creation is in the heart of a Vaishnava. There cannot be a safer place than that. What to talk of us? Even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he considered this as his own identity, right? Naham vipro na chanarapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni na chakriyapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodyan nikhila parmananda purnamritabder gopi bhartu badkamalayor dasa dasa nudasaha. I am neither a Brahmana nor a Kshatriya nor a Vaishya nor a Shudra nor a Brahmachari nor a Grihastha like that. What I am? Gopi bhartu badkamalayor dasa dasa nudasa. I am a servant of Krishna, who is the maintainer of the gopis, Gopi bhartu. And a similar prayer comes in Mukunda Mala Stotra. There, what's his name? King Kulishekar, he says, Madhujan manafala midam madhukaita bhare mat prarthaniya madanugraha esha eva toda bhritya paricharaka bhritya bhritasya bhritya itimam sparalokanatha. In this verse, the term bhritya has come 7 times. And servant of the servant like that, 7 times servant. So, and if we see through the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and probably other scriptures also on Gaur Leela, we'll find this. There are verses after verses simply describing what? How the Vaishnavas are being served. How Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is serving the Vaishnavas. On the disappearance of Haridas Thakur, what did Lord Chaitanya do? He single-handedly served prasad to all the Vaishnavas. And if he is not serving the Vaishnavas, if he is not serving prasad, if he is accepting prasad, at that time also he will be glorifying the Vaishnavas, glorifying the prasad. Glorification of the prasad is also in one sense glorification of the cooks, right? That's also Vaishnava seva. There are songs written on this. Ekadina shanti pure prabhu radvaitera ghare dui prabhu bhojane boshilo shak kari aswadane prabhu bole bhakta gana ei shak krishna aswadilo hena shak aswadane krishna prema aise mane sei preme karo aswadana jada buddhi pari hari prasad bhojan kari hari hari bolo sarva jana. So one fine day, Ekadina Shanti Pure, what happened? Prabhur Advaitera Khare, at the house of Advaita Acharya. Dui Prabhu Bhojane Boshilo. The 2 Prabhus, they are sitting to have prasadam. Who are the 2 Prabhus? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. They are sitting and Advaita Acharya is serving. Okay? So, Shak Kari Aswadane Prabhu Bole Bhakta Gada. On honoring Shak, the vegetable, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh Bhakta Gano, oh my dear devotees, Ei Shaka Krishna Aswadilo." this shark is so delicious. Definitely, Krishna has eaten it personally, like that, you know. So, yes. And in another place, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks a verse for Sanatan Goswami from Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. This verse talks about, we are talking about sense of touch, right? So there's a verse. Akshno phalam tva drisha darshanam hi tano phalam tva drisha gatra sangaha jiva phalam tva drisha kirtanam hi sudar labha bhagavata hi loke. So, okay, to just give you the context of this verse, what happened is, once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and at that time, Sanatan Goswami arrived. And Sanatan Goswami had run from the jail. He had taken a long journey through the forest, through the mountains, etc. So I think Sanatan Goswami had not taken a bath since long, and that's why externally he seemed to be quite dirty. His clothes were untidy. He had a grown-up beard. He had long hair, etc. So Sanatan Goswami, he didn't enter the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya. He just waited outside. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Paramatma in everyone's heart, he told Chandrasekhar Acharya, there's a Vaishnava outside your door. Can you please bring him in? Chandrasekhar Acharya comes out and he returns back. He says, oh my Lord, there's no Vaishnava at my door. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, is there anyone at your door? He says, yes, there's a Muslim mendicant. Bring him in. So Chandrasekhar Acharya comes out. And at this point, a very wonderful series of verses starts. Prabhu tomaya bolaya aise daravesh, shuni anande sanatana karila pravesh, tahare angane dekhi, prabhu dhaya aila, tare alingana kari prema vishta haila. Chandrasekhar Acharya says, Prabhu tomaya bolaya aise daravesh, O Muslim mendicant, Prabhu Tomaya Bulaya, the Lord has called you, please come in. Shuni Anande Sanatana. On hearing this, Sanatan Goswami was filled with joy. Karila Pravesh, and he entered. Tahare Angane Dekhi. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Sanatan Goswami in the Angan, in the courtyard of the house, what did he do? Prabhu Dhaya Aila. He came running in great haste towards Sanatan. Tare alingana kari prema vishta haila, and he embraced Sanatan Goswami. As a result, prema vishta, he became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Okay, let me just read the other verses for you also. Prabhu sparshe prema vishta haila sanatana morana chuya kahe gadgada vachana. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched Sanatan Goswami, Sanatan was also overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Morana chuya kahe gadgada vachana. In a faltering voice, Sanatan Goswami said, Morana chuya, oh my Lord, please do not touch me. Doi jane gala gali rodana apar, dekhi Chandrasekharera haila chamatkar. Dui jane gala gali, these two, they are embracing each other shoulder to shoulder, gala gali. And what are they doing? Rodana apar, they are crying profusely. Dekhi Chandrasekharera haila chamatkar. And Chandrasekhar Acharya is confused. What is happening? I thought this fellow was a mendicant, but he seems to be someone really special. I mean, who is he? Till this time, the introductions have not happened, right? Sanatan Goswami has not been introduced to Chandrasekhar Acharya, so therefore he doesn't know. But that's why he's confused, that he must be someone really special. But who is he? Somebody please tell me? Tabe Prabhu tar hata dhari laya gela, pindara upara apana pasheva saila. Catching his hand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sanatan inside and made him sit on an elevated place next to him. This verse is very wonderful. This reminds me of my spiritual master, because sometimes what he used to do, while talking to devotees, he used to catch hold of their hands, or he used to very gently touch their arms. So yeah, and that was very sweet. So yeah, just imagine Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu catching you by your hand. What was the fortune of Sanatan Goswami, right? Shri haste karena tara anga samarjana teho kahe mora prabhu na kara sparshana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did something surprising. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began cleansing Sanatana Goswami's body with his own transcendental hand. Just imagine. The Lord is cleaning a devotee's body. The Lord is serving a Vaishnava. This is the perfection of sense of touch. Right? In second canto, third chapter, text 17, 18, 19, 20 onwards, there's a very heavy series of verses that comes. How did it start? Bilevato rukrama vikramaniye narshinvata karnapute narasya jivasati dardurikeva suta nacha upagayati urugaya gatha bhara param patta kirita jushtam apyuttam angam nanamen mukundam shavo karono kurute saparyam harer lasat kanchana kankanova. Those hands which are not engaged in the service of Lord Hari or his devotees, they are like the hands of a dead body, even if they are decorated with golden bangles. Heavy, right? So yes, Lord Chaitanya is teaching us by example, therefore. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did this, Sanatana Goswami said, "Oh my Lord, please do not touch me." Once again. Prabhu kahe to mas parshi atma pavitrite bhakti bale para tumi brahmanda shodhite. The Lord replied, "I am touching you just to purify myself. Tomas parshi atma pavitrite bhakti bala para tumi brahmanda shodhite." Why? Because by the force of your devotional service, bhakti bale, by the strength of your devotional service, what can happen? Brahmanda shodhite. The whole universe can be purified. And then Lord Chaitanya speaks some famous verses from different shastras. Bhavad Vida Bhagavata, this is from first canto. Then Na Me Bhaktas Chaturvedi, this is from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Then Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gauranitai ki. Yes. Okay. Then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Toma dekhi toma sparshi gaye tomara guna sarvendriya phala ei shastra nirupana. Toma dekhi, by seeing you. Toma sparshi, by touching you. So we are talking about sparsha, right? Toma sparshi. Gaye tomara guna. And by glorifying your transcendental qualities, one can perfect the purpose of all sense activity. Sarvendriya phala. And ei shastra nirupana. This is the verdict of all the revealed scriptures. And after this, Lord Chaitanya speaks that famous verse which I was talking about. Akshno phalam tva darshanam hi tano phalam tva gatra sangaha jivva phalam tva kirtanam hi sudurlabha bhagavata hi loke. My dear Vaishnava, seeing a person like you is the perfection of one's eyesight. Akshno phalam, perfection of eyesight is twadrishya darshanam hi, to have the darshan of a person like you. Tano phalam twadrishya gatra sangaha. Touching your lotus feet is the perfection of the sense of touch. And glorifying your good qualities is the tongue's real activity. Because in the material world, it is very difficult to find a pure devotee of the Lord. Yes, devotees of the Lord are rare. They're very rare. Sadhus. Sadhus are so rare, so absolutely rare, that the term sadhu sangha is singular in itself. Ever thought about it? Sadhu sangha is a singular term. If at all it would have been plural, it would have been sadhavaha or sadhoh. Just like guru. Guru is a singular term, right? What's the plural for guru? Guravaha, guru or gurun. Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vindam. Vande Guru. So Guru, I offer my respectful obeisances to spiritual masters. And Gurun. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Ishan Ishavatarakan. Like that. So similarly, Sadhavaha is the plural. A verse where Sadhavaha comes. Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhavaha. How does it start? Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Bhatishlokama Baddhavatyapi. Namanyananta Seshon Kitaniya Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhavaha. So yes, 1, 5, 11, 10 or 11 I think. Srimad Bhagavatam. So yes, devotees are very rare. And if sadhus are so rare, just imagine how rare would be the service of a sadhu. Why? First you have to find a sadhu who's very rare. Then you have to go in his association, which is even more rare. Then you have to find an opportunity to serve him. And then you have to execute that service. Right? So it's really rare. And why is Sanatana Goswami so dear? to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's very dear, right? Okay, I'll give you another incident to prove, to show what Sanatan meant to Lord Chaitanya. Once Lord Chaitanya was sitting with some of his intimate associates. Rup Goswami was there, Swarup Damodar was there, Haridas Thakur was there, Ramananda Rai was there. These 4 or 5 people were there, and they were having a discussion. And somewhere in the middle of discussion, Lord Chaitanya starts glorifying Rup Goswami. Rup Goswami was also very dear, very, very dear to Lord Chaitanya. Priya Sarupe, Daita Sarupe, Prema Sarupe, Sahajabhirupe, Nijanurupe, Prabhureka Rupe, Tatan Rupe, Swavilas Rupe. Govinda Prabhu had sent me this verse. So yes, he was very dear. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying Rupa Goswami, he speaks a verse wherein he mentions Sanatan Goswami. Iharaya Jeshta Bhrata Nama Sanatana Prithvite Vigyavara Nahi Tara Sama. Iharaya Jeshta Bhrata. This Rupa Goswami, he has an elder brother, Jeshta Bhrata, whose name is Sanatan, Nama Sanatana. And what's his speciality? Prithvite Vigyavara Nahi Tara Sama. On this entire planet, there's no person more intelligent than him. Just imagine, the certificate of the most intelligent person on the planet was given to Sanatan Goswami. By whom? Not by Guinness Book of World Records, by the Supreme Lord himself. So why was he so dear? Why was he so special for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? One of the reasons is because he used to do service to the Vaishnavas. He used to glorify the Vaishnavas. He was non-envious of the Vaishnavas. Once Sanatan Goswami and Haridas Thakur, they were sitting. So Sanatan Goswami knew how much dear Haridas Thakur is also to Lord Chaitanya. But he is not envious of him. He had such appreciation. He speaks, Pratyah kara tina laksha nama sankirtana sabarage kara name ramahima kathana आपने आचार्य के न करे प्रचार प्रचार करे न के न करे नाचार आचार प्रचार नामेर करह दुई कार्य तुम्ही सर्व गुरु तुम्ही जगतेर आर्य प्रत्यह कर 3 लक्ष नाम संकीर्तन. Every day, oh Haridas Thakur, what do? You chant 300,000 names of the Lord. And in addition to that, Sabar Age Kara Namera Mahima Kathana. In addition to that, you preach the glories of the holy name to everyone. Sabar Age. Apane Acharya ki hana kare prachar. Some people practice, they have achar, but they do not do prachar. They do not preach. Prachar kare na ke hana kare na achar. Some preach, but they do not practice. But you are special. Why? Achara prachar namera karha dui karya. You practice as well as preach. And therefore, oh Haridas Thakur, Tumi Sarva Guru, Tumi Jagatera Arya. You are the right candidate to become spiritual Vaishnava of the whole world. So, such appreciation, no? And so, this is what we need to do. What we do instead, we become envious of the Vaishnavas. So then, where will we go with envy? Where will we go? I don't know where we'll go, but we'll definitely not go back to the spiritual world. Why? Because Goloka Vrindavan is a place where envy just doesn't exist. It is not allowed there. What to talk of humans of the spiritual world? Even the birds, the plants, the flowers of Goloka Vrindavan, even they don't have envy. They are completely non-envious. Paravatanya Vritasara Chakravaka Datyuha Hansa Shukatittiribar Hinamya Kola Halo Viramate Chiramatra Mucher Bringadipe Harikatami Vagayamane. This is for the birds of Vrindavan. And the next verse is for flowers. Mandara Kundakura Bodbala Champakarna Punnaga Naga Bakulam Bujapari Jata Gandher Chite Tulasika Bharanena Tasya Yasmin tapasu manaso bahumanayanti. So what is being said here? Paravatanya bhrita. Paravata refers to a pigeon. Anya bhrita refers to a cuckoo. Okay, I'll read the exact translations. When the king of bees in a high pitch singing the glories of the Lord. Bringa Adhipe Hari Katham. When the Bringa Adhipe, the king of the bees, is doing Hari Katha. Sorry. What happens at that time? There is a temporary lull in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chakravak, the swan, the parrot, the partridge, and the peacock. So these people reduce their voice because they want to give the king of bumblebees an opportunity to glorify Krishna. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. And the next verse, Mandara Kunda Kurabotpala. Although flowering plants like the Mandara, Kunda, Kurbaka, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punnaga, Nagakeshara, Bakula, Lily and Parijat are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulasi. For Tulasi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulasi leaves. So yes, this is what these qualities are, the ones which we need to cultivate if we want to go back to Godhead. What do we people think? Prabhuji, I have full faith in Vaishnava Seva. What I doubt is whether the devotees around me, they are Vaishnavas or not. Prabhuji, are these Vaishnavas? You bring Sanatan Goswami in front of him. I'll serve him in a way. My example will come in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But no, that's not what Lord Chaitanya wants out of us. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have wanted that out of us, no, he would have sent Sanatan Goswami to Bhaktivedanta Manor. But no, he didn't do that. So Krishna, he wants to see whether what do we do out of the devotees around us. Do we become envious of them? Do we blaspheme them? Do we fight with them? Or do we cooperate with them and serve them for his mission? Yes.
So we had been to Jagannath Puri the last December, and when we saw all the gurus there after many years, it was a very different spirit there. It was more like a business, and it was very disheartening to see them. So it was like Vaishnava, it means the one who actually worships Lord Vishnu, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And how to identify that in today's world is kind of little difficult. And also I wanted to know, when in our dharma we feed the crows as our pitrus, is it advisable to do that here as well?
So your first question is about the priests in Jagannath Puri, their behavior being a bit confusing, right?
So there's no difficult to trust
Yes.
who's right Vaishnava.
Yes, so that's what Shastra recommend. Krishne tiyasya gritam manasadriyeta, that we show respect and honor as per the spiritual standard of the person. So if we are not able to understand the behavior of a Vaishnava, it's confusing, etc., we can maintain some distance, right? But what we should not do, we should not cross the maryada. We should not transgress the maryada. If they are misbehaving, we should not misbehave back in return, right? Otherwise, Lord Chaitanya won't be pleased. Okay, if we cross maryada, then that is very displeasing to the Lord. Tathapi bhakta swabhava maryada rakshana maryada palana haya sadhura bhushana. Maryada rakhile tushta kaile mora mana tobi aiche na karile kare kona jana. Lord Chaitanya says, Maryada rakhile tushta kaile mora mana. O Sanatan Goswami, by abiding by Maryada, you have pleased my heart. Such passwords have been given in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Kaviraj Goswami. Okay, so if somebody's behavior we are like not able to understand, oh, he's a Vaishnava, why is he behaving like this? Maintain some distance, but don't commit offenses like that. Okay.
And regarding serving crows in your backyard?
Serving crows in the backyard. Yes, I don't think that should be an issue.
And sometimes, as a Vaishnava, as a Brahman, some people are vegetarian, some are non-vegetarian. I understand that we have to feed vegetarian food to the birds.
Yes.
But if you notice somebody feeding non-vegetarian food to the bird, what does that mean?
No, what I meant was serving vegetarian food only.
Only.
Okay, so I didn't mean serving non-vegetarian food. Okay, so if they will need non-vegetarian food, they'll find it somewhere else. Okay, we don't need to store non-veg food in our home and supply them to the birds. Krishna will arrange something for them. Okay. Anyone else? Any comments, questions? Yeah, just one thing before we go to the comments. That I spoke on two topics. One is lust and second is Vaishnava Seva purposefully. Because I'm myself very spiritually weak in both these areas. So I seek blessings from each one of you that I may be able to improve upon these and be a good devotee. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Thank you for the class. For the hairs on the body, the object of perception is itching.
Yes.
Just trying to understand, because sometimes there are places in the body and there are no hairs, but you feel itching. For example, the palm. For example, the sole of the feet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sometimes even the eyes as well.
Okay.
So how to understand this?
Hold on. I have no clue, Prabhuji. I'm really sorry. So I was thinking you are talking about those areas where the hair do not grow. So probably the itching is there because the pores are still there sometimes. But you are talking about those areas which do not even have the pores, right? No clue, Prabhuji. Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also doesn't write anything about this in his commentary. I checked his commentary.
Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur doesn't speak about that. Eyes itching or anything. So we are clueless.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Karan Dhruv.
Thank you for the class. You're mentioning about serving Vaishnavas, and you gave the example of Kalidas, and he took remnants. So first question is, does serving mean taking remnants? And if so, how is that service? And second thing is, if a devotee doesn't want to be served, then how do you serve them? And if you do, and if they become displeased, then is that a service or a disservice? Or can you just kind of explain the dynamics that we may experience in day-to-day life?
So let's take the second question first. That how, if somebody doesn't want to be served, how do we serve them? So we should, sometimes this happens, somebody doesn't want to give him Mahaprasad, people forcefully try to take it. Somebody doesn't want to give the dust of his lotus feet, people forcefully try to take it, right? So we should serve the Vaishnavas in a way they want to be served, not in a way we want to serve them, right? So if somebody asks for water, give them water, don't give them milk. Patri Prabhu was giving this example, no? Once a spiritual master asked his disciple, please bring some water. The disciple thought, I'll bring kheer. So he made nice kheer and brought it. He said, Arey, stupid fellow, I wanted water to apply tilak, right? So yes, we should serve them. And if there is no physical service or no practical service, what we can do, we can at least glorify them, right? That is also service. Yes, Prabhuji.
On the same point of service, how we, for instance, can develop that mood, because what we do, for instance, for Prabhupada in the mission, when we preach, that's a service. When we do deity worship, that's service. When we maintaining ashram, that's a service to Guru and Prabhupada. When we performing any sort of a devotional activities, is that still considered to be like service? Because we're serving the mission, we're serving the instructions. So, and if that is correct, and if that answer is yes, then which shape or form that particular Vaishnava may deliver his blessings, how does that come? So imagine some of our spiritual masters are not anymore present physically, so how we may please them, obviously without them perceiving that intensity of our devotional offering to the concept of their instruction.
So yes, so I was coming to that point only in reply to Karan Prabhu's question, that yes, serving the instructions is the primary service which we should be doing, right? That's a very important way. That's a primary way of, one of the primary ways of serving a Vaishnava. And Vapu and Vani, my spiritual master was once telling, Out of these two, Vani is more important. Vapu is also important, don't get me wrong, but Vapu is temporary. Therefore, we should serve the Vani. So therefore, serving the instructions is also serving a Vaishnava. Now, in what form the mercy may come? So yes, the mercy may not come in a very tangible way, or may not come in tangible ways always. It may come in intangible, in ways which may not be physically perceived. For example, when we chant Hare Krishna, what happens as a result? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Is this tangible? This is not tangible, right? This is not a physical thing. We can perceive it by the way, means from different ways, from our behavior we can find that, oh, yes, the purification is happening from our thoughts, from our material desires, etc. Right? So these are the ways in which mercy might come. We may serve the devotee, we may serve the Lord. As a result, slowly purification will happen. And pratyaksha. So what pratyaksha means in this sense is, we can see the number of material desires reducing. We are able to chant holy name in a better way, etc. So that way. I answered your questions, right? Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Prayodhana Prabhuji.
There was one example really about this touch. You could say it applies to all parents actually. Sometimes when they're sick and you hold their hand, somehow they become comforted. Somehow that pleasure, that paternal or maternal feeling is cured by just holding their hand through this pain. It seems to be halved. It's comfort to them. So the pain doesn't go away, but the comfort of the hand, the touch. And so that's one, it's just that would apply to all parents, I think. But also, when Prabhupada was walking, and you may have heard of this, that they were walking along, and he saw this lady. She was very beautiful. Prabhupada said to them, "Isn't she very beautiful?" And they looked at each other, and they didn't know how to answer that. And he said, "What you going to do about it?" And they said, "Well, we don't know." He says, "Nothing. That's right. You don't do anything." And then that was it. That was the answer to the question. You don't do anything.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. I think we can conclude here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangshan Sri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna